Hello and welcome, one and all, to yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then they will make themselves into a Labor Day float for the parade. And whoever makes themselves into the coolest Labor Day float will be the winner. There are some cool options in this, I think Ebrietas would make a very cool Labor Day float. That's just my opinion. Other people may not share that same opinion. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm entitled to my opinion. So, it's just how I feel. I think Ebrietas would be a very cool Labor Day float. I don't know how she represents Labor Day, but, whatever. Anyway, the battlefield has been cleared. There are pretty close to 100 bosses in this little generator that I've created, and some special spots that could create special scenarios. Some of you remember at one time we had a SoulsBorne Battle Royal. That was won by Dancer of the Boreal Valley. If we do land on that again, if we ever do land on it again, I will handle that a different way than I did that first time. But we are going to pick two SoulsBorne bosses, at least as it stands right now, and we are going to pit them against each other, and then we are going to see what is going to happen. The Dark Lurker from Dark Souls 2. The Dark Lurker has made several appearances on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Whew. Dark Lurker, I guess, is supposed to be one of the tougher bosses in Dark Souls 2, I guess, too. And he's one of the Covenant bosses, I think. And he's kind of a pain in the ass. He's definitely kind of a pain in the ass. I think the first time I landed on Dark Lurker, I kind of like snorted at it. But I think I may have underestimated the ability and the skills of the Dark Lurker. So certainly always an interesting choice in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. All right, we are going to take this wheel for another spin. We are going to see who the opponent is going to be for the Dark Lurker as they await their opponent on one side of the battlefield. And then we're going to stop this wheel again. I'm just burning time. I'm letting this wheel spin, Getting some good reps in here before I stop the wheel and pick opponent number 2. So on one side, we have the Dark Lurker, and on the other side, we have Patches doesn't want to get on anyone's bad side, so you pick 3 bosses and choose the best of the 3 to fight. I think I effed this up last time. I landed on this space before, and I picked 3 bosses. And then when I went to make the video, usually it's just 2 bosses, so I just scroll through the video and I see who I landed on, and then I make the video. But I'd forgotten that I had landed on this spot, and then I had picked, I screwed it up. So I'm going to do everything in my power to do it the right way this time. So we're going to pick 3 bosses, and I'm going to pick the best boss to fight the Dark Lurker. So we're going to spin this wheel again. We're going to spin this wheel again. I don't think I ever formally apologized for that. I don't even know what episode that was. So I apologize for screwing that up that last time. But, yeah, we're going to do it the right way this time. All right, so we're going to choose contestant number 1 here. Melania, Blade of Mikola. Okay. It's going to be hard to top Melania. That's for sure. That is for damn sure. All right, we're going to spin this wheel again. I don't know that we're going to top that, but we're going to try. We're going to see what happens. All right, we got Melania. The folding screen monkeys from Sekiro. Okay, we're going to spin again. We are going to spin again. I'm not usually allowed to give like my, well, I mean, I can give a verdict on this. This isn't a verdict on the fight. This is a verdict on, you know, the boss I'm going to pick. The folding screen monkeys are not going to beat Melania. Sorry, but they're not. They shouldn't beat Melania in any way, shape, or form. Not even in a sushi eating contest. They should not beat Melania. All right, we have Melania, we have the folding screen monkeys, and we have... Can we get a drum roll, please? Thank you very much. We have... Are you kidding? Wow, what's better? What's better than one Melania? Two Melanias. Okay, that doesn't count. We're going to spin again. I mean, I don't think it matters, but we're going to spin again. We are going to spin again and pick a legitimate third choice. So I can make an informed decision. So I can formally cancel out the other two and pick Melania. That's what we're going to do. All right. We have Melania. We have the folding screen monkeys. And we have... Sir Gideon Ofnir, the All-Knowing. Actually, Gideon is a good choice. Sir Gideon Ofnir is a great choice. And I think... I don't think we've had Sir Gideon Ofnir on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. And I'm tempted to go with Gideon over Melania. I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't in good conscience do that. We got to go with Melania, Blade of Mikola. So it's going to be the Dark Lurker against Melania, Blade of Mikola. We are going to go to the contractually obligated bio. So let's have a look at the Dark Lurker. Dark Lurker lore does not exist. The Dark Lurker can only be fought through the Pilgrims of the Dark Covenant. Once all the beacons in the Dark Chasm of Old are lit, you will be automatically transported to its arena, and then you will fight this boss. When you look at it, it's kind of a badass looking boss. It presents itself as a four-armed angelic humanoid. Its face is completely obscured by a hood. It has wings. But it is weak to lightning and has moderate fire and magic resistance. And it is extremely resistant to dark damage, as one might expect. Once its health drops below 60, it will attempt to make a copy of itself. And it has some weapons that are no joke. It is armed with a dark sword, a laser beam, a dark spear, a dark meteor, fireballs, explosions, and, as I said before, the ability to make a copy of itself. So I may or may not have joked about the Dark Lurker when it was selected for SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, but the truth of the matter is, it's a pretty formidable opponent, and it's certainly not something you... I know I've said this before about other bosses, but you don't want to come across this boss in a dark alley, that's for sure. I would most likely poop myself. Yeah, I think the Dark Lurker gets overlooked a lot in Souls history, but I think you could put it up against just about any boss in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. I could most certainly hold its own. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Melania, Blade of Mikola, is the twin sister of the aforementioned Mikola. And as Empyreans, both were slated to ascend to godhood later on in life, but due to their parentage, they were both afflicted with curses. Mikola was afflicted with the curse of eternal nascency, and if in fact I am pronouncing that word correctly, and Melania was afflicted with scarlet rot. Scarlet rot is every bit as nasty as it sounds, and it consumed Melania from the inside out, disfiguring her and leaving her blind. Damned if that was going to stop her, though, because Melania fought to suppress the rot's influence, and did not let it stop her from doing virtually anything. Mikola also fought to cure his sister's affliction, and while he could never cure it, he did eventually invent the unalloyed gold needle, which suppress the rot's influence, I guess. Miyazaki. That's all I gotta say. So at some point, Melania encounters a legendary blind swordsman who has of the flowed curved greatsword, and that swordsman had also suppressed a outer god of rot, which is way too coincidental for me. The swordsman became her master and endowed her with wings of unparalleled strength, because why not? Over time, Melania became a warrior in a class of her own and would become her brother's sworn blade and protector. When Queen Marika ran out of her meds and shattered the Elden Ring, Melania claimed a shard of the Elden Ring and gained loyal servants in the form of the Clean Rot Knights, who served her despite the putrefaction of their flesh. Melania led this army south and won battles over many demigods, including Godric the Grafted. I don't actually know if Godric the Grafted is a demigod, but he is one of the bosses in Elden Ring, of course. And Godric, I guess, insulted her, which is, especially being Godric, is something, a journey I wouldn't go on. And then was forced to grovel at her feet, as he should. And then, for whatever reason, Melania didn't kill him. So, yeah, she just basically probably decided that he wasn't worth her time and then moved on with her life. So Melania's journey takes her to Caelid, and she and Radahn would be the last two demigods standing, basically, in this War of the Shattering. And the two would basically fight to a standstill, where Melania would unleash her Scarlet Rot for the first time. The onslaught of the Scarlet Rot unleashed by Melania was so devastating that it devastated the entire landscape of Caelid and turned it into a rotting landscape, I guess, is the best definition I can come up with it off the top of my head right this second. But it just turned the entire country, I guess, into just a giant Scarlet Rot flower. Not really, but there's pores growing all over the place, and it's just not a fun place to be. The Scarlet Rot crippled Radahn mentally and caused him to rapidly deteriorate and feast on the corpses of, well, basically anyone that was there. Melania was not left unscathed. She left the battlefield in a coma, and eventually Clean Rot Knight Finley would carry her all the way back to the Haligtree. Now, Miquella had encased himself in the Haligtree in an attempt to reverse his curse. During the time that Melania was gone, Mohg, Lord of Blood, had ripped Miquella out of the Haligtree while he was still in his cocoon, just because Mohg has this fascination with Miquella. There's actually more of the story. It has to do with Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. But so yeah, Mohg stole Miquella and took him away to wherever Mohg goes. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So Melania just rests at the base of the Haligtree and dreams of Miquella's return, and that's where you come in and disturb her slumber like a complete moron. And then then you end up fighting Melania. And yeah, you likely end up coming to regret that decision, because Melania is reputed to be the toughest boss in all of SoulsBorne lore. Although that is now up for debate, because Miyazaki heard that and then released the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, where he introduced Promised Consort Radahn, who is just absolutely... There are no words. There are no words for this fucking boss. So yeah. That being said, I mean, Melania she is still up there. I don't think one boss knocks her off her perch so easily, and certainly does not knock her off the Mount Rushmore very easily. So Melania is still one of the toughest bosses in all of FromSoft history, and yet I want to say beloved. I think she's a beloved boss, but there's definitely a love-hate relationship there with Melania, and it's well deserved on both sides. But she is certainly an awesome boss, and when Melania turns her head towards you and puts her helmet on and whips her sword out, you know that shit's about to go down. While Dark Lurker is reputed to be the most difficult boss in Dark Souls 2, Melania was reputed to be the toughest boss in all of SoulsBorne lore. She was. That's up for debate now. I'm pretty sure Promised Consort Radahn has now taken the crown. But she is still up there, and that makes her no less of a giant pain in the ass. So, as great as Dark Lurker may or may not be, and as many tricks as they have up their sleeve, it is still the Waterfowl Dance. It is still the Scarlet Rod, which I don't know if it could affect Dark Lurker, but I don't think it'll matter. It is still Melania, Blade of Mikola, and I do not think that the Dark Lurker has what it takes to defeat the former champion of SoulsBorne bosses. I think that Melania... I do think this fight would be interesting for a little while. Dark Lurker is very tough, and Dark Lurker does have some things that Melania probably hasn't seen before, but at the end of the day, as I said, it's still Melania, and Melania is still going to... Melania's gonna Melania, is what's gonna happen. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's not a very controversial thing to say that Melania will win this fight, and probably win it decisively, but that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death draws to a close. RobertBlacherBooks.com if you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's World 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run. And this past episode, I finish up the depths, except for facing the Gaping Dragon. And then I decide to go back and deal with the Moonlight Butterfly. So there is that to look forward to. I finally had enough. Needed to get some things done. So that is something definitely to look forward to. And back in the archives, I have the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask run. I have the Sekiro No Healing Gourd run. I have the Dark Souls 3 No Estus run. And the Dark Souls 3 No Level Up run, among a whole bunch of other things on the channel. So go check that out if you're interested. And Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now. SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. And you just watched it, so there's nothing really I should have to explain to you. If you don't think you understood it, you can always go back and rewatch it. Or rewatch one of the other ones. You know, that's a choice you can make as well. There's a whole playlist. Excuse me, there's a whole playlist, so you can watch as many of them as you want. So yeah, more things coming down the pipeline. I'm sure there will be another Your Father's Story up soon. If there hasn't been one already, this is being recorded like weeks ago, so there's a chance I've already recorded and put up another one by now. So if so, you can check that out. If not, there's 2 episodes up right now if you want to learn more about me and how, see what the boys are learning about me that they don't already know already. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for the support. As always, I appreciate it very much. Just having my work out there, and whether it's my writing or the videos or anything like that, and having people watch it and support it is just an amazing thing. So I always enjoy that, and it means a great deal to me to know that people are engaging with my content and enjoying it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it as long as there's a base for it. So yeah, I love you guys, and I appreciate your support, and I hope everyone has an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See, I'll see you alive, y'all. Bye. What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out the video today, but I got a question for you. Did you know I wrote a book? Did you know I wrote 3 books? Did you know that they're all part of the same series? The Roar of a Dragon, The Treachery of a Weasel, and The Cry of a Raven. ReadersFavorite.com says that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. Now, I personally think that's crazy, but it's not for me to judge. It's for you to judge. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com and you can check out the books right now. But wait, that's not all. All 3 books got 5-star reviews at ReadersFavorite.com. These books won the Silver Medal in the Literary Titan Awards. The Cry of a Raven won Silver at the Global eBook Awards. So what are you waiting for? Read about Aiden's dream to become a Knight of Delmar. Read about his death and resurrection. Oops, I gave that away, didn't I? And read about his journey back home from 3,000 years in the future to stop the evil that started in Delmar. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And then, if you're interested, you can buy the books there as well. And if you've already read the books or you just want to hear more about them, you can check out the Rise of Dragons podcast. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And in every episode, I cover a character from the book, an event from the book, my journey into writing, and everything in between. Ripley, what do you got to say about all this?
Give me a treat or I will end you.
You know she's telling you to check out the books. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com to check out the books or listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast if you want to hear about them. That's all I got to say, and thank you for watching this video.